I'll say it. I got no problem saying it. In fact, I'll say it louder for the people in the back. Everybody is all abuzz about the Zoom meeting from Erika Kirk to her employees only 5.5 days after her husband had been publicly and brutally unalived. And how her demeanor was beyond cringe. Starting the Zoom meeting, giggling, laughing, like a little schoolgirl, to be honest, about an emoji. All that is not giving grieving widow. In fact, in my opinion, as a woman who I have my own company. In fact, together, me and my husband, we own 3 companies. So as a CEO of my company, I can tell you, it not only does it not give grieving widow, but it definitely, hands down, does not give CEO. Let's be for real about that. But everybody is making videos about how she is focused more on the cheddar than she is grieving her own husband. Seriously, 5.5 days after he had been pew-pewed. Publicly, very publicly. She's over there giggling like, honestly, like I said, it's beyond cringe. So everybody has pointed out the obvious that she is more focused on money and getting back to work 5.5 days after, but nobody has said this, and I got to. Because it is just, mad face this. She said, Charlie wouldn't want you guys on the couch grieving. He wouldn't want you sitting on the couch sad at home. Charlie would want you here. He'd want us full steam ahead. That's what would make Charlie happy in heaven. Really? Okay, really? I'm just gonna toss this out there. You guys all know that we just lost our 16-year-old dog. Our sweet Lou passed away on the 8th. You wanna ask my assistant what I told her the day we lost him? I told her, I'm gonna need you to hold down the fort for a week, maybe a little bit longer, because I am a wreck. A week, as I grieved our family's dog, my sweet Lou. I lost my best friend of 25 years in 2024. On January 13th, it marked the 2-year. Yeah, tell me that wasn't a tough day. I had just lost my pup and marking the 2-year anniversary of losing my best friend. But when I lost her and we knew she had terminal cancer, I spent her last week with her. I got the chance to say goodbye. I got closure. Knowing she was going to pass away, I still asked my assistant, told her, I can't work for about a month. That was my best friend. I had to step back as CEO. I had to lean on my husband to help my assistant because I was inconsolable. Look, I can still barely talk about her and it's been 2 years. You would never catch me giggling about emojis on a Zoom meeting only 5.5 days later, focusing on sales and hats because Charlie would want you to do that and not be home on the couch sad, crying. Here's where you're absolutely disgustingly wrong, Erika. Because although maybe Charlie wouldn't want his employees home on the couch crying and sad, I will hands down guarantee you that's exactly where he would want. No, he would expect you. That is where Charlie would just plain out expect you to be. Not only as his grieving widow, but I'm gonna say it, as the mother of his 2 very, very, very young children. Children who just lost their father. At an age where it is confusing, where's daddy? At an age where those tender little hearts have got to be, I don't even know the word for what they must be feeling, but it is far beyond just being sad. They just lost their daddy. So yeah, I think maybe Charlie would have expected you. Shouldn't have even had to spell that out for you. You should have been home on the couch that day. 5.5 days after your husband had been unalive. You should have been home on the couch grieving and consoling your 2 little kids. But that probably never crossed your mind. Now did it, Erika? That's the part of that Zoom meeting that made me violently ill. Y'all gotta know that I'm biting my tongue. That is the part that rubbed me wrong. You should have had your ass home on the couch with your kids. You and I have a lot in common, Erika. I too am a CEO. I too am a wife. I too am a mother of 2 children. The only thing that's different between you and me, it seems, is that 5.5 days after my children losing their father, CEO, wife, and mom, I would know damn well where my place would have been. Because it would have been home on the couch being sad, consoling my kids. Not giggling on a Zoom about emojis. Focusing only on money. Because from where I'm sitting, where the world is sitting, how many months later? Even 5.5 days after? Well, from where the rest of the world is sitting, Erika. Well, it sure does not look as though those sweet 2 little kids only lost their dad. But that's all I gotta say about that.